How's everybody out there in YouTube land? So I just got an email that says I got a package in today and we're gonna go ahead and open it up. I'm excited about it. I've been waiting for it. The company reached out and wanted to send it to me. So I'm gonna review it. Let's take a look at it. Well, here it is. This is a 10-in-1 welder and cutter by Simder. It's a pulse MIG, TIG, arc welder, basically stick welder, and it's a plasma cutter all in one. The cool thing about it is it works on a 110 volt outlet and 220 volt outlets. Here are all the hoses. Good Lord, they send you everything with this kit. Brand new gun, look at that. Packaged very, very nicely. Look at that. That's a plasma cutter. Probably for aluminum. Wow. What an awesome kit. Wow. What a beautiful, beautiful unit. Holy crap. That is sweet looking. I am thoroughly impressed. Now that we've got it all opened up, I've had a couple of weeks of time just to play with the unit and kind of get more of a familiar understanding of how it all works. Because it's kind of unique to have so many different devices and so many different tools tied in to just one centralized unit. It really is a huge space saver if you're considering on buying, you know, a welding machine and a plasma cutter or a stick welder, all of these different devices for your garage. You can simplify it by buying one unit that has it all built in. And the cool thing about this is it actually comes with about 95% of everything you need to do everything that this thing has to offer. Now, Simder on their website, they offer a spool gun, but that is, to me, the one thing that's not included. Also, TIG rods. TIG rods are not included. So I had to buy TIG rods, but unfortunately, I don't have the correct gas in order to TIG. So the gas that I have on hand is for MIG, and that's what we're going to test, along with stick and the plasma cutter and so on. But it did come with the pressure regulator for the plasma cutter. Now, let's go ahead, just take a peek inside. That's the mechanism inside. It really looks no different to the other units that they have on the market that cost 3 times as much. This unit right now is on sale on their website for $9.99. Originally, I believe it is $12.99. And depending on when you watch this video, there may be a coupon code down below in the description of the video that will get you 10 or 20% off depending on if it's still valid at the time. So let's go ahead, let's go back here to the unit, turn this on. Now I'm running it on 110 volt right now. If you were to get this unit and you run it on 110 volt, make sure if you have an extension cord going to it, don't use a 100 foot or a 75 or a 50 foot extension cord, and don't use a 16 or a 14 gauge wire. Buy you a big heavy duty number 10 extension cord that's 25 foot long that will help you get this unit where you need it to be, or plug it directly into the outlet of, of your choice. But for right now, for testing purposes, we're just going to go ahead and rock it this way. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the screen and see all the settings that it offers. Now this is the digital display screen that comes on the front of the unit. You see here we have plasma, we have separate, which is still the same MIG gun, CO2 100%. That's basically your gas in the back. If you have one that's just straight up 100% CO2, 100% argon, which right now we have a mixture, I believe 75-25 argon CO2 mix. That's mixed gas, so that's what I have. That's what we would be running it on. That's pulse MIG. That's our TIG setting. and that's our plasma setting. Flux. So flux, if I'm not mistaken, would be this here. This would be flux core wire. That's what that setting would be for. All this is built into the unit, which is absolutely awesome. Now this right here, MMA, that's stick welding. And then we're back to where we started. So it's 10, I believe it's 10 different settings. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over here and we're gonna go to mixed gas, and that's gonna be our MIG setting. And then what we do is this button here at the bottom, we hold this button, we let go, and now we have our display. We're gonna go ahead, turn our bottle on. We can do a little demonstration. Now, I just want to say, full transparency, I am not an expert when it comes to welding or using a plasma cutter. I've never TIGged anything in my life, so I'm not going to sit here and attempt to lay a bead down and TIG and explain to you how it all works. I am just somebody who understands the basics when it comes to welding. My profession, weld drilling, what my channel is all about, there is a lot of things that break and fabrication that needs to go on. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. But if you're not new here, you have seen instances where I've had to make something on the fly, a tool or whatever it is, and we've had to use the welder. This tool here is probably one of the best tools for anybody who wants to have it in their garage. Now when it comes to changing functions, it's always best to turn the unit off. And we're going to come around here and we're going to look at these 3 cables here. So there's ports, and in the instructions they number these ports, and each one does something different. Now let's go ahead, we're going to turn this on. Okay, gas is already on. Going to go ahead. Oh, now we need to go over here and unravel. Got this all organized nice and neat. If y'all know me, y'all know I like to be organized. Alright, now that I've selected mixed gas, because that's what we're running, we're also running up here at 110 volt. You see? It works. Alright, let's go ahead and lay down a bead. Alright, first things first, let's turn our helmet on. Okay, that's on. Gloves. I'm a stickler about safety. Now let's go up here where I haven't tested it. Now if you buy this unit, just like any other unit, you're gonna have to try things to learn to see, you know, hot settings, cold settings, wire speed, all that comes into account. So you just need time to play with it. I've only had a few times here and there over the last couple of weeks to play with it, but the little bit that I have, I'm actually really impressed. So I want to go ahead and just show you. All right. Whew. It is hot in here, y'all. Now, another thing when it comes to welding, especially on a wooden table like this, you definitely don't want to catch it on fire like I almost did. But you need good ventilation. So I'm gonna go ahead, get me a fan, turn the fan on. The only reason I don't have my garage door open right now is because it's gonna put a glare on the camera and you're not gonna be able to see me. Alright, I went ahead and put my little box fan there, get a little bit of air moving. It's very important to keep the air moving when you're doing stuff like this. The fumes are not good for you. Now, there's the bead. Not so bad. You know, I'm a beginner. I'm no one's professional when it comes to stuff like this, and this is just a scrap piece of steel that I have. So this is on 110 volt. Not bad. And I'm sure if I sat here and I messed with the settings and fine-tuned it, which you would want to do if you're working on a project. Now, it all depends on the thickness of your steel, and there's a whole lot of variables that go into it, but It actually does really good. Now, I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna put the MIG gun away. We're gonna pull out the plasma cutter because that thing is awesome. Now, just like we did before, you have to turn the unit off, read the instructions. We're gonna go ahead and pull this out. We're gonna move our ground clamp wire. This is the wire that goes to our ground clamp. We're gonna move it over here to this side. This is just changing the polarity to where we can use the plasma cutter. Always, always refer to the instructions until you understand how it works. Our air hose, and hook it up. All right, now that I have my air compressor all aired up, now I do want to reiterate something. Make sure your air compressor is up to the challenge of a plasma cutter, because it does use quite a bit of air. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to select plasma. We're going to hold the button for 3 seconds and let go. Now we're in the plasma setting. Now we're just going to leave it there. That's the way I ran it last time, and it did excellent. Actually, I may turn my amperage down just a little since I'm running it on 110 volt right now. Now, one thing I liked about this plasma gun is it has this guard here, and it's like a guide. So you can basically take this, rest it on your metal, and it gives you the perfect height. So you don't have to sit there and hold your tip just ever so slightly above your metal, or even like some people would drag it across the metal, which is, you know, not good. But I love that guard right there. Now, same thing's gonna apply. Gloves and a helmet, because this thing is gonna blow some sparks. Perfect! Man, look at that. That is one clean cut. I mean, just look at that. Look at how pretty that cut that out. That is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This thing does an awesome job. For a price tag of $9.99, honestly, you can't beat it, because like a regular plasma cutter, you're going to spend more than that on it. And this unit here, it gives you a welder and a stick welder, MIG, TIG, and you can buy... There's just so much about this unit that is just awesome, in my opinion. Now, granted, I am reviewing it, but I've reviewed products in the past that I have not made videos on because I just didn't stand behind them. I actually like this unit. This is going to be my main #1 unit in my garage at home. You know, if you're working on like a rat rod or a race car or a hot rod, side-by-side, ATV, or just, you know, artwork, metal artwork where you got to weld stuff, like art escapes, whatever you want to call it. This is actually a really good unit. If you've never welded before, a really good unit. I'm kind of excited to be able to put it in my shop, in my garage, because over the last like 5 years, every time I've needed to do something on my race car, I've always had to bundle everything up here at work and take it to my house, and that is an absolute hassle. I have to take 3 separate units to my house, and a bottle of gas, and a cart. Now all I have to do is just get a cart, and I've got all those units built in one. That is absolutely awesome. Like, whoever came up with something like this, technology comes out, this is awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Now, before we end the video, we're gonna go ahead and use the stick welder side of things. I am not excellent when it comes to stick welding. It is something that is still tough for me, but we're going to try it, and we're going to try it together. Now, when it comes to stick welding, I'm going to be using a 60-13 rod. It's a 1/8 inch. But before we switch over, we're going to turn the unit off. We're going to take our plasma cutter, bring it over here, wind it back up. It pays to keep stuff nice and neat and tidy, because when you start talking about welding slag dropping on the floor and all that, you don't want to burn a hole through anything. And in my opinion, it's such a nice unit, I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to mess any of it up. Now, so these two, this is one end, these are together, okay? What we're going to do, we're going to take the red end, we're going to put it here. And we're going to take our grounding clamp, which this here goes to our grounding clamp. We're going to move that over here to slot 9. Lock that into place. We're going to turn our unit on. Now that the unit's on, we're going to go over here and we're going to find our, we're going to find the stick setting. There it is. Okay, we're going to hold for 3 seconds and let go. And there we go. We're all ready to go. All right. Now I want to try something a little different here. Get my glove on. Everything is pretty much ready, set to go. I popped in at an angle. I'm going to try to weld this back to that. Just see what happens. Okay, well, we'll see. I'm gonna knock the slag off that once it cools, and we'll see what it looks like. Like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to stick welding, and I don't claim to be. I know that ain't the prettiest weld in the world, but it's a stick weld. Let's see over here. Still not the prettiest. I am not an expert when it comes to stick welding. You know, welding in itself is an art, and it's something, you know, like any artist, the more you do it, the more you get better at it. Now, earlier when I didn't try to actually weld a piece onto it and I just laid a bead down, that, I believe, was the bead that I laid down. That doesn't look as bad, but it still could be prettier. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the unit off. Close my gas bottle, make sure that's tight. We're going to talk about it. So, why would someone like me make a video on welding? I'm not an expert at it. The reason is you don't have to be either. You don't have to be an expert at something to want to try to become better at it. And that's all I'm trying to do. Simder products, I absolutely love them, honestly. The 10-in-1 feature, 110 volt, 240 volt, they hook up to both. It's just amazing what they can pack inside of one unit. If you're interested in one, I would advise you to go to the description box, click the link, it'll take you straight to their website, straight to this product, and there should be a coupon code available depending on when you're watching this video. So be sure to enter that in if you want to purchase this product. Now, don't let something like this be intimidating to you. If you've never welded before, so what? There was a period of time when I had never welded before. Trial and error is what makes you better at whatever it is you're trying to do. So I'm going to go ahead, end the video there. I want to thank Simder for sending me their product, for testing it, for being able to make this video for y'all. So thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all on the next one.